Now, in today's market slot, we take a look at the Africa Unlocked Conference, which is set to take place on the 9th of July in Cape Town, South Africa. Hosted by Standard Bank Business and Commercial Banking, the conference has evolved into one of the continent's leading business leadership platforms, convening influential business leaders, policymakers, investors, development finance institutions, as well as entrepreneurs to exchange ideas, forge partnerships that support sustainable economic growth. This year's event takes place under the theme Built in Africa, Amplifying Continental Growth. To further unlock this discussion, we joined on the line by Andrew Robertson. He is the head of Business and Enablement for Business and Commercial Banking at Standard Bank. A very good evening to you, Mr. Robertson. Welcome to Africa in Business.
Good evening, Thami. Thank you for the opportunity, and good evening to your listeners.
What an exciting conference coming up. It is now in its third year, Africa Unlocked. How has the platform evolved since it launched in 2024?
Yeah, Thami, it's been a really exciting journey for us. We started in 2024 and 2025, really talking about unlocking growth in Africa and then how businesses are shaping Africa's tomorrow. This year, as you said at the beginning, the theme is about Built in Africa and Amplifying Growth. So the showcase really this year is to focus on African ingenuity and what's being created, and we've got some great stories to show and tell from all across the continent.
Why is it important now more than ever to be talking about African growth, about trade and investment?
So I think we're all familiar with some of the geopolitical challenges that the world faces at the moment. And yet, despite that, you find that the growth forecast for Africa this year is still said to be around 4%. We're seeing continued growth in intra-Africa trade across our portfolios in and across Africa. And then, most importantly, it's in the stories that we see every day as we engage with our clients, whether it's clients in South Africa or across our markets in Africa, and the way in which they're expanding into new markets. So why it's important, despite the headwinds that markets have faced in the first part of this year, we're still seeing really good growth and optimism emerging in a number of environments, and it's driving trade and new opportunities and potential for Africa.
We're seeing African businesses, doing well in their domestic markets, usually where they begin trading. But how can African businesses scale beyond their own borders and become continental champions? We've seen some African businesses actually do this quite well.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the numbers I was looking at a little bit earlier this week showed that intra-Africa trade last year was about $220 billion US dollars. And so you're 100% right that many African businesses are already starting to trade with each other across border. How to do that? Obviously, it's there's not one specific recipe for everyone, but choosing the right partners and working deliberately and collaboratively with those partners across borders is certainly one of the simple steps to take. And it is going to be one of the themes that we have a panel on during the conference. And the beauty of this conference is that although it's not everybody can attend, post the conference we share a lot of content and insights into some of these themes. So we'll certainly be sharing much more insight and information as the weeks progress.
Looking forward to accessing that as well. We do know that the trade relations on the continent are constantly evolving. With this in mind, how can businesses take advantage of the growing trade opportunities that are presenting themselves with markets such as China, as well as other global partners who are really keen to do business on the African continent and with African businesses?
Yeah, I think if we look at the trade flows, as I said, intra-Africa growing, but equally, markets like China I think we're all familiar with China having announced zero tariffs to 53 African markets now. And what that's driving is a significant growth in what I describe as bilateral trade. So we see really strong demand for high-quality African products and produce. So a lot of demand for African agricultural products. And then equally, on the other side, there's growing demand across our markets for world-class access to world-class machinery and technology, which again being sourced from China and other markets. So the headwinds that have been faced in the first part of the year, I think the disruption to supply chains is opening up these kind of opportunities, whether it's with China or some of the Arab states or even India. So again, it is going to be one of the key topics that we cover in the different panels this week.
And which would you highlight, Andrew, as some of the leading sectors which hold the greatest growth potential for African countries at this time?
So I think that there's a number of sectors that stand out. I think energy is certainly one of those. And there's a number of components to that. I think we're seeing substantial growth in demand for renewable energy solutions across all of our markets. But of course, there's the input side to renewable energy. And if you look at resources across our markets and Africa's share of rare earth minerals, which are critical to renewable energy, that has to be a significant opportunity. Agriculture continues to perform strongly. And so whether it is for domestic consumption or for export to new markets, we're seeing some really good growth and interest from markets such as China for, as I said, access to world-class sustainably produced produce.
It is an era, Andrew, of a lot of global uncertainty. With this in mind, what gives you confidence about Africa's long-term growth prospects despite the global uncertainty?
So I think, Thami, it's really in the numbers that we see on a day-to-day basis currently, and in the conversations we have with our clients. We've seen substantial growth in client confidence. As I said, when you see Africa growing at 4% GDP relative to the rest of the world, and that's despite the headwinds that markets are facing. If I look at some of the clients that we've seen expanding from West Africa into East Africa and vice versa, we've got a number of clients that have in the last year been able to access large markets like China. And this is all against the backdrop of fairly tough global and at times domestic markets. So it's the reality, the lived reality of our clients that gives us that confidence. Of course, we know that that doesn't mean that it's easy to achieve that, but certainly the signs of growth and cause for optimism is there.
Thank you so much, Andrew Robertson. I'm sure that is very much the same sense and spirit of optimism that will be the backbone of the Africa Unlocked conference that's set to take place on the 9th of July in Cape Town, South Africa. We thank you for your time, sir. That's Andrew Robertson, Head of Business and Enablement for Business and Commercial Banking at Standard Bank.